Hello and welcome to Tucson, Arizona. I'm Randy, and I've got a funny one. So, the internet is the most insane place on the freaking planet, and it is the only place that a complete stranger who's never seen you, has never talked to you, and has knows zero about you can call you a bigot for no reason at all. This happened to me today, and it happens to me probably a lot more often, but it was the most bizarre, random one today. So I follow a channel called Film Threat with Chris Gore and Alan Ing, and they talk about movies and TV shows. And they started talking about this new Star Trek thing that's just came out, it's coming out. I don't know. I don't care about Star Trek anymore. It's all been trash for years. I love the original show. I love Next Gen. Love Deep Space Nine. Love Voyager. Enterprise to a degree was fun, but it's kind of weird. So yeah, I'm a nerd, but I'm a nerd who hasn't really been a Trekkie nerd in a long time, so there's a lot of things I don't know about. But he starts talking about this new thing that's got Michelle Yeoh in it, and in the live comments, all I said was, "Is anyone else tired of Michelle Yeoh?" And the very first response to at me in this was, "Only you and people like you, bigot." Okay, I did not speak about this woman's race, sex, gender, whatever you want to call it, creed, ethnicity, acting talent or lack thereof, or the fact that she's tied to a lot of other terrible TV shows that have tanked or that are slowly ruining different shows that I could love, and they're tied to things that I do love. Like I love Boba Fett, the character, just like most people. I didn't watch the show. Didn't watch the show for a lot of reasons. First off, Boba Fett didn't wear his helmet for most of it. Why would I watch that? Michelle Yeoh, I know, was in it. So in my mind, I equate her to things destroying my childhood. So I've got no interest in seeing her, and she's tied in so much stuff today. So I got no interest in her. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a bigot. I mean, you say whatever you want, I don't care. But I was like, dude, really? Like, it's just annoying when these people. I don't like someone you love or whatever, and I'm not allowed to have a difference of opinion. And I didn't even share an opinion really. I just asked if anyone else was tired of her, but I never expanded upon why I'm tired of her. And because of that, I'm a bigot. So I respond and say, you don't know anything about me. Like, I don't use the YouTube channel, the YouTube account I use to post all my videos on is not the same account I use to watch videos and comment and sub to a bunch. Like, I do sub to channels on here that I really like, ones that I support financially on my other account. For those of you who dig deep enough, who ever care to dig deep enough, it's not hard to figure out. So, um, like if you're from RK Outpost, what's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out. Ryan Kinnell, you're the man. Thanks for giving me a shout out a week ago. Really appreciate it. I did get subs because of that. But like, if you're gonna call someone a bigot, actually know first off what a bigot is, and secondly, why, like, have a reason for calling someone a bigot. Because I said I'm tired of this woman being in everything doesn't make me a bigot. Sorry. Like, you guys are the most ridiculous people. And this goes to what I was talking about last night in my last video. Why is it that if we disagree with each other on anything, you hate someone for it and want them dead or disappeared or off of YouTube or Rumble or whatever? Like, you want to just live in your own echo chamber. Echo chambers are what's destroying this country. I wholeheartedly believe that. Again, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care. Half my friends love the Disney entire cinematic universe. I can't stand it. I hate Disney. I've been very clear about that. I think they've ruined what they used to be, and they are no longer what they used to be. And they destroy franchises. You just look at the numbers, and I'm right. You don't have to like that I'm right, and you don't have to. You can argue that I'm wrong all you want. The books don't lie. The loss of revenue, the fact that they make entire shows and then scrap them because they know there's already outrage for it, proves my point. They suck. Then they don't care about you or me or anyone else. They're pushing an agenda, and their agenda is losing because of politics. And people are sick of this. We don't want to be preached to. We want escapism. So it was fascinating that she called me a bigot, and then when I responded to her, and just said, explain yourself. I was like, you don't know a single thing about me. You're going to call me a bigot. The person's name was Jane Doe. So I'm assuming it's a woman. Who knows? I don't know. But, so then this person responds to me and says, oh, would you prefer incel? Well, first off, my name doesn't equate male or female. You can't tell anything about me based on my username. Like you would never know. You'd never know what my walk of life is, what I look like, nothing. My account ID, my little picture is tied to the name in a way that if you've read a book, you would know who this character is, because my username is based on a character that I love from a book. And my logo is a symbol that is directly correlated to that character. So if you're into Sir Terry Pratchett, you'd be able to figure out who I am real quick. But otherwise, you don't know anything about me. So it just cracks me up. And it doesn't upset me. Like it was annoying, and I was afraid of getting kicked out of the chat because it brought notice. Like my response brought notice from the mods, and then I did like tell the mods, hey, read back. And then they realized, and like, oh yeah, dude. I was like, man, being called a bigot's annoying when I did nothing. I didn't attack anybody. This is super annoying. I'm enjoying this conversation I'm having with other people in the chat and listening along. Like, and I support you as a company, and you can see that based on my name and the little badge next to my name in your chat. So don't boot someone who pays to be here because someone else who's watching for free comes in and starts stirring up the pot. So then tonight we're in church because, again, I'm a Christian. You don't have to be. That's your business. But so I'm in church, and I'd forgotten about all this stuff throughout the day because it doesn't matter. Like trolling happens literally all the time, and in cases there have been cases where I'm the troll, so I'm cool with it. It's the life of being online, like whatever. But then pastor reads a passage that I've heard 1,000 times, and I'm actually explaining to a friend of mine who's a newly reborn Christian. What's up, bud? I'm in the middle of explaining something. So this is from Romans 12. If you've read the Bible, you probably have heard this. If you haven't, I hope you follow along and I haven't lost you. Romans 12, 17 through 21. Repay no one evil for evil. Have regard for good things in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men. Beloved, do not avenge yourselves, but rather give place to wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Therefore, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in so doing, you will heap coals of fire on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Now, in this instance, I didn't do that. But I also didn't, I wasn't mad. I didn't give in to vengeance. But it cracks me up that I'm the person who studies that, listens to that, tries to live by that code, and everyone else out there who doesn't and who hates God and doesn't want anything to do with God and doesn't study God and calls him a fairy tale, and the book is a fairy tale, which is fine, man. Have your own opinion. I don't care. But the same people who don't want anything to do with the word of God call everyone else a bigot for no reason at all. You don't know anything about anybody, and you're calling them names. You're an ist, a phobe, and all this other garbage. But then you call us intolerant. Like, I've been tolerant of your horse shit for a lot of years, but I'm the bad guy. No, you're not being tolerant of me. I say I dislike an actress, or I just say I'm tired of seeing her in something. It's not even that I dislike her. I like her in things. I'm just tired of seeing her. I'm not going to watch the Fantastic Four because one actor's put in it who is terribly miscast, and I think that I'm just tired of seeing him in things. And he's also the reason I gave up Disney, because his political garbage is allowed to be spread, but you're not allowed to say beep, bop, boop as your pronouns. So, I'm sick of the garbage, and I mean, call me whatever you want. I don't care. But the point is, this shit is the reason that the nation's in the position that it's in, and it's not getting better. Because that same person also spent $20 on a super chat to talk about gatekeeping the channel. They said, I love Film Threat. I'm a huge fan, have been for years, but you guys need to do better at gatekeeping and keeping these people with their own agendas out and their own opinions. It's like, well, wait a minute. That's why we're here. First off, when I used to buy comics, and I was in my local comic book shop a couple times a week, but definitely every Tuesday and Wednesday, I'd hang out with people who had different lifestyles than mine, different political opinions than mine. And we would hang out and talk comic books. And we would argue comic books. We would argue lore. We would argue who's better, who's stronger, all the normal. If you've ever been in that circumstance, you know exactly what conversations I'm talking about. If you've ever spent any time in a comic book store, you really know, and you've been a part of these conversations. But it's all for fun. And some of these debates would get pretty heated. Like you're arguing about nonsense that's made up. So you're allowed to do that, but you don't call each other bigots, and you don't call each other defamatory names, and you don't try to get each other kicked out of the comic book store. You don't look at the guy who owns the place, in this case, Matt, who owns Fantasy Comic here in Tucson. You don't look at him and go, and his mind politics didn't always align. But if we're not arguing politics, it didn't matter. And he didn't look at me and go, Randy, you're barred. Get the hell out of here. Stop spending money in my store. No one cared. No one tried to get you kicked out of the damn store. No one tried to get you canceled from the store. What? All right, I'll be there in a minute. So just the whole thing's nonsense, and I'm so sick of stupid arguments, and I'm so done with name calling. It's third grader crap. Like, I mean, people are still going to do it. I know I'm not fixing the internet, and I know all 7 people who watch this video to its end know that. Like, you already know, I know, and I know that everyone else knows, right? Like, it's not going to fix anything. But there is the off chance that one less person responds in a way that continues the fight. Just let them call you the ridiculous thing, hit them back with something kind of weird and polite, and they'll just start getting pissy, and eventually they'll get booted, like Jane Doe did today. Everyone started looking and paying attention to what was going on, and this person was trolling 1,000 other people. Like, they were hopping in and commenting on other stuff, being hateful. It's like, how angry and upset are you in your life that you have to come start trolling someone else and then trying to get them kicked out of a chat room just because? Again, like, I don't care. I'm not upset about it. It's just driving home talking to my wife about this stuff, and and then like the response, I responded kind of funny and was like, yeah, you don't know anything about me, like, but you're just gonna call me a bigot? Like, it says a lot about you. And they responded with, would you prefer incel? I was like, dude, who's gonna kick this person out of the chat room? Like, again, you don't know anything about me. First off, very happily married. Like, my wife's been on here, not an incel. Like, successful dude. Like, I'm living a good life. I just saw one of my kids. Like, get out of here, man. You don't know the first thing about me. And you're just going to keep calling out names until they lose all meaning. You're going to call people like me a bigot until the point where you're going to say, well, that guy was a bigot. You're going to be talking about someone else entirely. You're like, oh, man, this guy wouldn't let me into his restaurant because of whatever. Hey, he's a bigot. And people are like, what do you mean bigot? Like, this word has lost all meaning. If you say the same word over and over again, it's going to lose its meaning and no one's going to care. You're just crying wolf. Oh, incel. First off, the incel thing needs to go away because it's just annoying. And I bet there's like 3 or 4 dudes who are incels and that's it. But these idiots they keep throwing that out there. It was probably the worst part of the Batman, period. And I love the movie and I like Pattinson as Batman. But there's a lot of problems with that film. It's not great. Like, it's a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. I love how dark it was, but otherwise there's a lot of things that kind of The incel thing, those guys being the bad guys, is so far-fetched and stupid. It's unreal. Because I've known dudes that are probably legitimate incels in real life, and they play Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. All right, they're not buying firearms or anything like that, doing anything crazy. And they sure as hell aren't paying attention to politics because they don't care. So the whole thing is ridiculous. I think people are insane in today's day and age. How about just sit down and have a conversation with a stranger, maybe smile, and maybe have like an actual dialogue with somebody you disagree with, and you'll find out they're not what you thought they were. Like, Not all lefties are dumb little fucking morons, and not all right wing dudes are insane people who want to end the world. Like, there's a lot of nonsense being fired off back and forth, and I hope that soon, in this year maybe, there's a lot less of that, and we're right back to how it was when I was a kid, where everyone hung out with everyone and you didn't care who you voted for. Didn't matter at all in the 90s. Why does it matter so much now? Like, what the hell is wrong with people? So let's figure it out. That's what I'd like to do. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm doing my damnedest to get to the bottom of it by the time I die. Why are people so stupid? Like, chill out. Become happy. Find happiness. You know what I mean? Anyways, thanks for hanging out. Tucson, Arizona. I'm Randy. Peace.